both of those fronts. On the job front, I think President Obama, what he did was he made a calculated gamble to go after health care, presuming that the majorities in both houses of Congress would be his strongest chance to get this landmark legislation through. It would be in his first year. It would be something that became a shining example of his presidency. Unfortunately, I think what he forgot is that jobs, the more immediate need for every American, which is to put food on the table and pay their mortgage, is higher level concern and more immediate and important than worrying about health care. At the end of the day, people might be able to live without health care for a month, 2 months, 6 months, but they can't live without a job for 1 month, 2 months, or 6 months.
You're absolutely right. The third thing the Americans are very angry about is the health care. Why now? Yeah, we understand it needs to be done. Why now? We got $1.5 trillion in deficit. Of course, this week everybody took credit. It's going to be $1.4 trillion. Nevertheless, that is pretty high. We owe $14 trillion. That's about 3 times the amount of budget that we budget for the entire United States of America. So I feel like if he can get those 3 things, which I think he's slowly realizing, that's what Americans believe in. That's why they're angry with him, and that's why they lost that seat in Massachusetts. That's why no one wants to listen to any of his good words until they see some good deeds.
I agree with you. In fact, the Post did an interesting analysis of his speeches. You know, he uses the phrase, "let me be clear," a lot. Right? And in almost every speech, you can kind of get that, let me be clear, let me be absolutely clear. And the fact is, a lot of us aren't very clear on what it is that is his agenda. And clearly, he's lost favor with the American public. His favorable rating is down. He's struggling to get those audiences to show up at his town hall meetings in quite the same way they were coming before. I think if there's one positive thing here is that he has at least recognize that something is wrong. He's not connecting with the people anymore. And so you're seeing him make shifts. Certainly during the State of the Union address, he focused much more on jobs, less on health care. And he even is embracing what people are calling somewhat the Republican mindset by doing this freeze, this budget freeze. You remember it was an unpopular idea from the McCain campaign, actually. And here you see that idea, I won't call it recycled, but you certainly see it making an appearance here on the policies he's proposing. Maybe he's trying to court the Republicans, but I think he's trying to go after the independent vote, which he's lost.
It's a gimmick, freezing of the budget. Folks, he only has a control of 15% of the budget. So you freeze, you make $100 billion difference in a $3 trillion budget. So
it's a drop in the bucket.
It's a drop in the bucket. Yeah, but it starts, you know, I mean, they're looking at it, they're saying 2016, the only deficit we'll have will be $450 billion a year. But folks, by then, oh my God, we'll be like owing $20 trillion to China.
On a lighter note, I wanted to share with you something I read in the Post, which was funny. It's just funny. Did you know Germany has come out with a musical about Barack Obama's life?
Whoa!
An honest-to-goodness musical with complete numbers, musical numbers. For example, there is a love song between Michelle and Barack Obama where she sings, "I see the leader deep inside, so strong, confident, and wise. We fit together. This is no ordinary love." But, you know, that part aside, they've really done justice to the entire political campaign that occurred and the election cycle itself. So, get this. Hillary Clinton also appears in this play, and she sings a song called Ready on Day One. Remember that? Ready on Day One. In fact, she breaks out into song in the middle of a TV debate between the two candidates. Not only that, I'll give you the final punchline to this. Even Sarah Palin makes an appearance in this play, and she sings a surreal number called Soccer Mom Pitbull. So, you know, Germany has decided to make a parody of his life, but it's immensely popular. They've just not been able to find someone here in the U.S. to take this play. But if it came here, you know, I think I'd go watch it.
Are you kidding me? Someone is going to bring it to the United States, and I'll be the first one to go watch it.
Well, apparently it's more of a parody, and I'm not sure the public is quite ready for it here. But, you know, people overseas are having fun with President Obama's life.
Moving on, folks, from the politics, I want to tell you about my visit to San Francisco. Yeah, you know, you go to Napa Valley, you do the wine thing and everything else. But the city was having a convention of fancy food.
Perfect for you.
Yes, I'm a foodie. I mean, I love food. I wish I know how to make it. I mean, I make enough of it, but so I went to see it. And I want to tell you, it was like heaven for me, you know. Chocolates, all kinds of chocolate, cheeses, sauces,
wines,
chips, different kind of chips. You know, I love potato chips, so different kind of potato chips. Yeah, a few calories lower, still tasty, so on and so forth. I mean, there were something like 1,500 booths. 100 of them was from Italy.
Wow.
Italy is big in America. I mean, they're exporting everything from Italy. Very little from China. Almost nothing from India.
That is really surprising.
There were only 3 booths. Folks, one was Suki. I think they sell through Whole Foods. And then another one, they make nothing but sauces. I forget the name. But they're out of California. You know, it's a Sindhi woman who does Kemlani. And she makes sauces, and then again, they sell it in California, but they're coming into the East Coast.
Sure.
And number 3 was this woman from London. You know, in London, they sell this chicken tikka masala. You know, I mean, that's
it's their
number one dish.
Food, actually.
Yeah. So she was selling their masala. Now, there were 5 themes that came out of this winter fancy food show. One was good for you foods. Folks, I want to tell you, the calories were dropping. Lots of olive oil, different olive oil, and the way you use it. I mean, there were oils that were light that you can go all the way, cook them up to 500 degrees and so on. I mean, it's important to women who cook to understand how this cooking oil works. Coconut was big this time. And, of course, they are using dried-up coconut. That was very nice to see because in India, coconut cooking is everywhere, you know.
It's supposed to be very fattening. I'm surprised that the coconut would make such an appearance.
I'm sure they're doing something with it because it was big. Because right next up is gluten-free. Everywhere you go, everything is cooked gluten-free. Gluten-free, gluten-free.
I'm not surprised by that. And the reason is there's been a growing trend of people who are developing allergies to wheat and wheat-based products.
Yeah.
So a lot of them are having to go to gluten-free diets just to be able to avoid the allergy. You know, it makes you think, what is in our food products, processed foods, that is causing these new types of allergies to show up? This is a prominent one.
Gluten-free. I mean, they are coming up with it like crazy. Exotic citrus. This time, I saw citrus from Italy, which was so different than what you eat here. It was so delicious. I recommend it to anyone. You know, most of these, Dean and DeLuca and Whole Foods and Wegmans and the others, these are the ones that are carrying these different kinds of foods. And the last one was nostalgic foods, but basically what is organic foods, the way we used to cook.